So the first part, we have already discussed the first four questions from this pop quiz, journal, thermal and waves. And today I have shared another pop quiz related to electricity, magnetism, space physics and atomic. So submit today. And it is compulsory for everyone to submit these pop quizzes. It's a part of preparation. So take it seriously now, as only a month left for the exams. Question 5, figure 5.1 shows a device that cools the air in a room by evaporation. So there is a water sponge block is there and a water container, and a fan is there which is blowing the air. The water drips from a container into a sponge block and keep it wet. Air flows through one grill and out through the other. And as the air flow through the wet sponge, the water in the sponge uh, block evaporates. When the water evaporates, the temperature for water remaining in the sponge block decreases. Explain in terms of the movement of the particles why this decreases in temperature occur. So as we know, evaporation is a cooling process. Whenever evaporation happen or occur, the substance will cool down. But why the substance will cool down? So what actually happened here? So the most energetic molecules in this one, so most energetic molecules from this wet sponge will escape. They gain energy from their neighbor surrounding and they escape. So the molecules which are left behind, they will have low energy. That's why this is wet sponge block will cool down or decrease the temperature. So we have to explain in terms of the particles. So we'll mention the most energetic molecules, water molecules. Gain energy from surrounding and escape. The molecules left behind have low energy, which cause the cooling effect or decrease the temperature. And that causes the temperature to decrease. Explain why the energy is needed when the water evaporates. So why we need the energy if even the water is evaporating? So because the main thing is we need energy to break the intermolecular forces. So the energy is needed to break the attractive force or intermolecular force or bond. You can also mention the bonds between the molecule. That is why we need energy. State two ways in which evaporation differ from boiling. It's a very common answer. Like evaporation is happen at the surface, boiling throughout the liquid. Evaporation, no bubbles form. Boiling, bubbles will form. Evaporation occur at any temperature. Boiling at a fixed temperature. And evaporation is affected by like surface area, temperature of surrounding, temperature of liquid. Boiling is not affected by these factors. Bubbles form in boiling, no bubbles in evaporation. Question 6 is related to the waves, the sound waves. A loudspeaker shown in figure 6.1 produces a sound of a frequency 800 hertz. What is meant by the frequency? 2 marks are there. You have to learn the standard definition, and frequency means how many vibrations or number of vibration or number of waves in 1 second or in a unit time. So you can mention number of waves in 1 second or number of vibration in 1 second. Or in unit time, you can also use that term. 1 mark is for number of waves, 1 mark is for unit time or in 1 second. Explain whether the sound produced by speaker is audible to human with a healthy hearing. So the normal human range is from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So is this, yeah, so it is within the range 800 hertz. And obviously the speaker is producing this wave, so it should be audible. Describe the motion of a cone in figure 6.1 and how this causes the production of sound wave. So how this cone will vibrate? This cone will vibrate to and fro. That's how it will move backward and forward. When the cone will move, yeah, right and left, that's also right. Backward, forward, right, left, to, fro, that's fine. And the second part, when the cone will move forward, it will produce compression, like the particles will come closer to each other. And when the cone will move backward, it will produce a rarefaction, means a large space in between them. Because when it moves backward, the pressure on the particle will decrease. And when it moves forward, the pressure on the particles will increase. So how the marks are distributed for this part, 3 marks are there. So you'll mention the cone will vibrate backward and forward. And when the cone will move it create compression due to high pressure. And when the cone move backward, it create or it produce rarefaction due to low pressure. So compression and rarefactions are the regions of high and low pressure due to the motion of this cone or the source. The sun is very large and extremely violent ball of gas. Electromagnetic radiation from sun explosion on the surface can reach Earth. Explain why sound from an explosion on the surface does not reach Earth. So 2 marks are there. How you score the 2 marks? First thing you will mention, because in the space is vacuum or there's no particles between the Earth and the sun, like between it's a vacuum, and sound cannot travel through vacuum, or sound require a medium to propagate or travel. So 1 mark, you will mention that there's a space or a vacuum between the sun and earth. And the second mark, the sound cannot propagate or sound cannot travel through vacuum, or sound require a medium to travel.